It wasn't my intention to disrupt this industry. I had a cannabis startup previously in San Francisco where it was a monthly subscription service. And all I wanted to do was validate these lab results that were given to me on a piece of paper. And I had no way of really proving what the lab results were. It could have been my supplier editing it on Photoshop, which actually did happen. So I decided to start calling the labs and putting their lab results from the lab on my blockchain without smart contracts, without any UI. No one else was using it, just me. And it turned out that it was working really well. So I decided to create Paragon and give it to everyone in the space. So now a farmer can use it, a lab can use this, a supplier can use it, and most importantly, customers can use this. They just scan. If Dunkin' Donuts had cannabis coffee, there would be a QR code back here. The customer would get in the app, scan the QR code, and they would have the option of choosing between lab results or cultivation results. And it just creates a smart contract and shows you what's in that smart contract directly from the lab and directly from the cultivator. So the supplier can't edit it.
And so the reason you chose blockchain to be at the forefront was just because it's the most secure?
Yeah, it's immutable. Mm-hmm. So now this end supplier has no way of changing what is in this smart contract. It's there, it's immutable, it's forever. Everyone can see it. Everyone sees who made it. It's not Dunkin' Donuts. It's the farmer that grew these coffee beans, or in our case,
how
cannabis.
Is this kind of like connecting all these different fractured parts that have been in the cannabis industry and maybe been a hurdle for a lot of companies?
Yeah, so if you are, let's say, a parent to a child with epilepsy, you are just going into the dispensary, MedMen maybe, or whatever dispensary you like, and you're gonna ask the bud tender, what can my child take for epilepsy? They're probably gonna give you a product with CBD, and they didn't grow it. They're just a bud tender. They didn't make this, they don't know. So all that they're doing is reading a label and knowing what they know about the product and giving it to this parent of a child and saying, here, take it. I promise, like the label says it's pure CBD and there's nothing else and it's organic and it's good for your child. Children should not have high amounts of THC, but there's no way for that mom or dad to prove other than what's on that label for their child. Mm-hmm. So they're just having to trust the bud tender or trust the reputation of the dispensary versus being able to really know what the lab results really came out as. Because right now there's some regulation, but it's not fully regulated. So this supplier can write whatever they want, and that's not safe for children or to anyone with a compromised immune system. So if now, if you go to this dispensary now and you ask them what's in this product, they're literally going to tell you what's on the label.
Got it.
With our system,
it's like a transparency.
It's transparent.
Especially when it comes to medicinal uses of
it. Medicinal is the most important. That's actually how, when I was creating this, back when it was still medicinal.
So how is the California legalization kind of impacted or benefited Paragon?
It's benefited it because now we're open to so much more. We have recreational. Hopefully government can start coming on board and saying this is a good idea. It will benefit government. They'll be able to actually get into the system and see everything. It's not clunky. It's not hard to integrate. It doesn't shut off. It's not like the other systems they have now. And it's on blockchain. So government can see everything. They can see if you grew 100 pounds of weed and 50 pounds of it got tested positive for mold, you have to throw it away. But right now, government has no way of proving that. You just said it, and you could have fabricated these lab results. So they're going to tax you on 100 pounds of weed, even though you didn't sell that. But once it's on blockchain and government can access this data constantly, 24/7, and they know it's immutable, and that's the real lab result, not the farmer saying he threw it away. Now, in the future, I believe that they'll be able to just tax you on 50% of what you sold.
So you talked about your app that's going to allow people to scan things and really figure out the seed to sale tracking system.
Yeah.
It's in beta. It's not out just yet. But how important is it to get all these other companies and brands on board to make sure they're going to be scannable?
It's really important. It's definitely going to take a lot of adoption. And the first people that need to adopt this is the farmers and the labs. I think that I'm seeing the younger generation of farmers, and actually pretty much most labs are interested in this. The people that it's hard is the older farmers that have been burnt by the system before, and they're nervous to let government in on what they're doing and how much they're growing. So what we're having to teach them is this is actually beneficial. This time you won't get burned because government actually can see it. In the past, it's that the government couldn't see what they were doing. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know how much they grew or didn't grow or what went on the dark web. And with blockchain, they'll be able to. So it's definitely very important for those two to get on board.
Right.
Then our suppliers need to say, I'm willing to be honest about my product, and I'm willing to tell the public where it was grown, how it was grown, and what the lab results were for it.
You're definitely disrupting this industry. Jessica, before I let you go, you're also opening Paragon space here in Hollywood.
Yes.
And you're paying for the building in crypto.
Yes, we paid for it in crypto.
So what are the benefits of paying for in crypto, and what is kind of the hope for the space?
So the benefits of paying in crypto are, I guess it was just a personal thing. I truly believe in crypto, and my husband and I have basically converted everything into crypto. We've got our family and friends into crypto, and we try to buy everything in our life, from groceries to our beds to flights, with crypto. Vacations, everything we try to do in crypto. So it was no difference for us to want to buy a building in crypto. It was just a personal choice, something we believe in. And the way that this will benefit the community is a lot of these cannabis startups, they don't have a lot of money. They're cannabis startups, so people think that they're instantly millionaires. That's not true. They're startups, but the difference is they can't work from their garage because it's not a green zone, or they don't feel safe having a meeting at their farm, so they want to work at a co-working space. And they need something affordable. So right now, a lot of people are charging them 10 times more than what a normal company would pay, and we're just wanting to charge them market rate, to be fair.
Well, it's very exciting. I know it's opening soon, so we're going to have to do a follow-up soon on this.
I would love to.
Jessica, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone. Jessica VerSteeg, who's the CEO of Paragon. We're going to go back over to the team in New York.